Welcome to the Dental Brief, the world's direct, right-to-the-point podcast produced to get you the information you need to learn and grow your practice. To learn more about our guests and find links to information discussed on our show, visit our website, dentalbrief.com. On to today's episode.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to an episode of the Dental Brief. I'm very excited about today's guest. Today I have with me speaker, author, consultant, Angela Davis-Sullivan. Say hello, Angela.
Hi, everybody. Glad to be here.
We're so glad to have you here. I feel very fortunate to have you here today. Angela, we always like to give our audience a little background. Tell us about a little bit about yourself, how you got into the industry, how long you've been in the industry, and kind of what you do.
Okay, great. Yeah, I started in dentistry when I was about 16 years old, working in a dental practice, and loved dentistry and fell in love with it. So kind of took that career path. I have done assisting, office manager, hygiene coordinator, new patient coordinator, all those kind of fun things in the practice, which led me on my journey to be a coach and consultant for other dental practices as well. So I've been coaching with dental practices for about 16 years now. So
wow,
a lot of fun.
That's a lot. Now you're based in Florida, correct?
I am. I'm in sunny Florida.
Okay. Do you work with practices just in Florida or across the country?
I have clients all across the country. So that's kind of nice too. You get to see a lot of different demographics, different challenges, but yet so many familiar challenges no matter where you are in the country.
Yeah, awesome. So we'll just kind of jump right into the meat of what we're here for. What I want you to do is kind of tell me something, identify a problem that you often see in practices, sometimes where they know about it. And then obviously there's other times they don't know they have the problem, which is probably more dangerous. But what's that problem that you wanted to talk about today?
So one of the biggest things I see often, and especially in the last few months after COVID, was leadership from the doctor on his side on what does that look like? What does my team need from me right now? What do I need to be doing? And then they do that same thing throughout the year with leadership. Like they just want to hide in their office sometimes and everybody just go do your job and it'll be fine kind of attitude. So that's, that can be a struggle for a lot of practices, a lot of teams, and the doctor as well. Like I don't know what to tell them or how to get them to follow me as a leader. So they're not tapped into that.
Sure. How about even, I'm afraid to tell them. I'm
Yes.
afraid to say this to them, or can you do this for me, right? That seems
Absolutely.
like a pretty common, I know a leadership issue that I've struggled with over the years is not always wanting people to do things that I think maybe they're not going to want to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. What are some of those telltale signs right now? What are you seeing out there that is like a red flag for you? Like, hey, yeah, there's a serious leadership issue here in this practice.
Complete shutdown of communication between doctor and the team. Like nobody just knows what we're supposed to be doing or what's the plan. And then the other thing that I see all the time is the team not knowing where the doctor's vision or mission is. Like I want more than just showing up. Like what are we here for? What are we doing for? And sometimes if the doctor can't identify that, well, then the team sure can't do it for you. And they can't follow what they don't know is the game plan. So a lot of times it's going back to, hey, what is that vision? What is our mission? And then you get a good team. And they'll carry the work for you. They'll do the stuff, but they got to know where they're going. They got to know where they're going. So you have to articulate that to the team. And often.
So where do you start when you're working with a practice and they don't quite know where they're going, right? So the dentist doesn't. And then to complicate that question and make it even more difficult for you, do you advise that when a dentist is trying to set a vision that he actually has his team be a part or her team be a part of building that vision? Or is that something that you kind of recommend that they work out on their own?
That's a great question. And I kind of do a little bit of both a lot of times. So it's having the conversation with the doctor and asking some questions, getting them to actually take time to sit down and think about where they want to be a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. And then what's the dream? Where do you want to be 10 years from now? And sometimes they don't even take time to work on the business. They're so busy working in the business. So getting them to kind of know what they see and where they want to go and have that rough outline for it. And then the team can come in and we get their opinion too. Like, what do you want to be known for? What do you want your mission to be? And then a lot of times they can add that piece to it that the doctor's like, yeah, that's some heart and soul into this vision. And I can see doing that. And so then it's fun for them to all kind of create that together, that they can stand behind it. And when the team has a part in it, a lot of times, that takes some ownership. So they're going to push for that. Like, what's our mission? What's our vision? Let's go back to that.
Yeah, that's great advice. What's the first step? So in other words, what is the first step or the step that someone can take today to get themselves on the path? Or what are a couple of 2-3 steps that someone can actually start building out a vision and to start becoming a better, stronger, more effective leader in their practice?
So one thing you can do right now to start being a better leader in your practice is work on your communication. So communication means talking, and it also means listening. And listening is probably the bigger part than the talking, which is hard, right? So get out there with your team and listen and ask questions and get some feedback. And if you don't have a vision or mission, or if you can't recite that, mission or vision that you wrote 10 years ago or have never done, take the time this weekend and sit down and think, what are we doing? Why are we doing it? And that'll be your first step into going, okay, this is our mission. This is where I see ourselves going. This is what I want patients, the community, others to say about us, and put that into action. Then share it with the team. You got to share it with the team and get their feedback as well.
Yeah, that's simple. This weekend, you can already have those first steps laid out, which is terrific. When you're traveling the country and you're visiting with practices and talking to dentists for the first time, what percentage of practices would you, if you had a guess, don't have a vision or a plan to get where they want to go?
Probably at least 70% of them. Then the other 30 might have something written down somewhere that may even be framed somewhere on the wall, but nobody knows what it is or what it means, and it doesn't elicit any passion for them. It's not helping them make it through the day or make their decisions. It's not firing them up. So it doesn't work.
When we talk about leadership, and we'll talk about your book here in just a moment, but talking about leadership, what are a couple of who are the couple of mentors or authors, or is there a book that you can recommend outside of your own book?
Oh, absolutely.
On leadership.
So one of my favorite books is John Maxwell's 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. I think that's like a go-to book. You don't have to possess all 21 of those qualities to be a good leader, but you can certainly recognize what I'm already kind of naturally good at and doing, and then see the weakness parts and go, yeah, I could leverage this more and have more leadership ability with my team. And it's an easy read, and it's really good stuff that you can take some notes from.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of John Maxwell. He's a great author. I think he's written about 1,200 books.
At least.
So he's got a ton, but I think that is kind of his marquee or his big one. So it's a great book. It's a
go-to. I a few years ago took his course, so I'm also a John Maxwell certified coach and trainer and speaker for them too. So yeah, I love his stuff. So many good things. You can take away tips all day long from anything you read from him.
Yeah, terrific. Let's talk about your own book for just a moment. Coming Home to a Better Practice.
Correct.
It's available on Amazon.
Correct.
What's the one thing that give us kind of like a sneak peek of that book, and what's one thing that if someone was to only read one section or one paragraph or one page of that book, what's the best advice that you have in there for them?
Oh my gosh, that's a tough question. I guess looking in the mirror, showing up and looking at yourself first. And then from there, you can figure everything else out. But you've got to look at yourself and see where you're weak, what you do well, and how to leverage those things to build the work family that you want. That's what it's all about. It's
awesome. So you do consulting, and obviously we want we certainly we would recommend that our audience reach out to you with any questions. But if somebody's looking for a consultant that's specific to their area or wants to talk to a few different consultants to help them set a vision to become stronger leaders in their practice, what are a couple of things that they should look for? So in other words, how would someone go about vetting? If you're not available and they have to hire someone else, what would you tell them to look for in a consultant?
So, I always recommend that. I mean, know what you're looking for, and you want somebody that you can talk to, and they've got some good advice. So I always recommend getting a reference as well. Talk to somebody that they've worked with, where they've had some success, and Google them, find out what they're doing, what they're saying, look for those kind of things as well. And then you want somebody that you can have some agreements with, because I think that's part of it for all of us. Like, what do you expect of your coach? And does that coach, want from you? And does that work? Does that partnership work? So you have to have open communication for that. So ask the tough questions on the front end.
Yeah. Reoccurring theme here, communication. Yeah. So, Angela, I want to thank you so much for coming on today. Folks listening, check out the website. It's adaptive-dental-solutions.com. You can find a link to her website here. Check out the book, Coming Home to a Better Practice. That is available on Amazon. Is that available on your website as well?
It is not right now, but it will be up there later this month.
Okay, I'm sure that you can find a link on the website up there as well.
Yes.
Again, thank you very much, Angela Davis-Sullivan. We appreciate you having you on the show, and we want to have you back here real soon.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Thank you for joining us on today's episode. Did you know you can weigh in on today's topic on Facebook? Search The Dental Brief on Facebook or visit our website, dentalbrief.com, and just follow the link. We look forward to having you join us again on another episode of The Dental Brief.